this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this really pretty, really easy table runner. Now for some of you that have been sewing for a while, this particular pattern or look that it has may look a little familiar to you. This is a 10-minute table runner, except in my version, it's going to take you a little bit longer because I'm going to show you how to put jelly roll strips in the center, how to put interfacing in it, and I'll even show you how to make it longer if you would like. So let's get started. This is a jelly roll in case you've never seen one before. There's usually 20 strips of fabric in there that are 2.5 inches wide by about 42 inches long. There's usually 4, 5, 6 different pattern fabrics in there. If you don't have access to getting them, you can order them online. You can go to Joann.com, eQuilter.com, and Fabric.com. Even some Walmart stores carry fabric, and I've seen this in their stores also. If you do not have access to getting jelly rolls, you can cut your own fabric strips 2.5 inches wide. If you need instructions on how to cut fabric strips, click on the link in the upper right-hand corner. You'll need the following supplies. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a 14-inch by 60-inch long table runner. If you're going to adjust your measurements, then of course you need to change the sizes and amounts of the fabric that you use. If you're going to use a jelly roll, you're only going to need to buy one and use just 8 of the strips and select multiple colors. Cut 30 pieces that are 2.5 inches by 10.5 inches. So out of each strip that's double folded, you can get 4 out of that. For the back, you'll need 1 large piece of fabric that is 18.5 inches by 62 inches. Pellon Craft Fuse number 808. It's either 808 or 803. I always forget the number. Or any medium to heavy weight iron-on fusible interfacing. Cut your piece about 18.5 inches by 62 inches. You can make this table runner any length you want. Now on the 10-minute table runner in that video, it only shows you how to make one that's about 42 inches long. So if you want a short one or a long one, this is how you would cut the fabric out. You leave your fabric folded. So here's your selvage edges and here's your folded edge up here. You would straighten this edge out first. Cut this edge straight, then go over 18.5 inches and do a cut. If you want to make it longer, go over 18.5 inches again and make a second cut. Then you would take the 2 ends here, stitch them together, 1/4 inch seam, and then press that seam open, then cut it however long you want to make it. But just remember, you will have a center seam that will show. If you want to do this method, you'll need 1 1/8 yards or less. Okay, if you're going to do a short version, you need half of that amount. Now let me show you another way. If you want it longer and you don't want that center seam to show, then you would unfold your fabric and only cut through 1 layer. Okay, this is real important. Then you would cut your selvage edge off, go over 18.5 inches and do a cut however long you want it. So if you want a 60-inch table runner that without the seam, you'll need 1.5 yards. If you want it longer, of course, you're going to need more fabric. If you're using the jelly roll strips, make sure you press them out because they will be wrinkled, especially at one end. Then to cut your strips in the 10.5-inch pieces. Make sure you leave the fabric folded in half, even if you've cut your own out. Cut the selvage edges off and line up your ruler and cut. Now go over 10.5 inches and line that ruler up on the 10.5-inch line and cut. Go over another 10.5 inches and cut. After you've cut out all your strips, then lay them out in an order that is appealing to you. And I just sort of repeated a pattern. So I started with that salmon color, went to a greenish blue, then green, then yellow, another different print greenish blue, and then purple, and started all over again with salmon and kept repeating that pattern. Then stack them in the order they are to be stitched together. Take your first two, bring front sides together, and then line them up. Stitch 1/4 inch seam. I recommend pressing the seams after you finished stitching. So press on the back side first to relax the seam. Then unfold, press on top, and as you press, push against the seam so that it forces that seam to go all in one direction on the back side. After you're done, turn it back to where the front side is showing. Take your next strip, bring it front side down, line up your edges, stitch 1/4 inch seam. Then press, unfold, and press on top. Continue this until all of your pieces are stitched and pressed. Here it is on the back side, and here it is on the front. My heavy iron-on interfacing, I cut it a little wider than what I needed because the next step is going to be so much easier to do. I'll trim that little excess off later. Place your heavy iron-on interfacing with the glue side up. The side that has the glue is shiny. Take the back of your fabric and place it on top. And then do a machine basting stitch all around all 4 edges. Then go around all 4 sides and trim the excess heavy iron-on interfacing off. Place the table runner front side down. So now you're looking at the heavy iron-on interfacing. Place a damp cloth over the top and take an iron with steam, give it a burst of steam, and then hold it in place for about 12 to 15 seconds. After every 12-15 seconds, lift and hold it in place again and go all the way down the table runner till it's all fused on. Place the fabric that wraps around from the back and around to the sides. Place it front side up. Take your section with the strips on it, bring it front side down, and begin pinning it. Continue placing pins all the way down to the other end. Then stitch 1/4 inch seam all the way down. To make it easier while you're at your sewing machine, I recommend you roll it up. Press the seam on the back side. Then unfold the fabric. As you press on top, you're going to push against this seam, pressing the seam going out and away from your strips. With the strips facing up, fold the other side of the fabric over to this edge here and pin it all the way down. Make sure your fabric is smooth all the way across and that it is not pulling in the incorrect direction. Then after you finish pinning, go ahead and stitch 1/4 inch seam all along the edge. Press the seam on the back side. Reach inside, go all the way down to the end, grab the other end and begin pulling it through to turn it front side out. Press this seam on top, but don't go all the way out here. Just press the seam. The next step is to adjust the border along here. What you want to do is evenly spread the fabric to where you have about 2 inches on each side. Right now this is a little bit wider than this one, so it just means you're going to need to pull the fabric over a little bit. As you're adjusting the border, place pins along the seams to hold it in place. Then stitch in the ditch. The ditch is the seam. So you're going to stitch right down in there on both seams on each side. To make it easier to handle at your sewing machine, I again recommend that you roll it up. Now press the border on each side. If you have any fabric extending out past the edge of your last strip right there, go ahead, line your ruler up on the edge of the strip, and then trim the excess fabric off. And do it at the other end of the runner also. Have the back side of the table runner facing up, so the front side is down. Fold it in half, line up your edges, place pins along this edge here. After pinning along this edge, then stitch 1/4 inch seam along here. At the other end of the table runner, do the same thing. Here is one of the ends that I just stitched. Here is the folded edge right here. Trim a little bit of this seam off. Try not to cut into your stitches. Leave about 1/8 of an inch width there. Do the same thing at the other end. Fold it out like this. Open this seam up and press it open. Do this at both ends. Now fold this out towards the other side. Make sure this seam is going straight down the center. Place pins along this edge. Then stitch close to the edge on top of this fabric, but close to the edge all the way across. And then do the same thing at the other end. I've decided to do a decorative stitch pattern on the jelly roll strips. So I selected the serpentine stitch, and this is what it looks like, and it tells me what presser foot I need to put on. I'm going to go down the center of each one of the jelly roll strips. After I get done going down each strip, then I'm going to go every few inches apart and go straight down from one end of the runner to the other. This is what the decorative stitch pattern looks like at a close-up view. For more table runner projects, play this video until a green screen appears and then click on the links. If you like this video, click on thumbs up, and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red button down there in the lower right hand corner of your screen. Enter your email address, click on the bell so that you receive future email notifications about my latest video. Also, make sure you have notifications turned on your iPad or your iPhone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing!